So I created a 6'7" stretch big, skilled stretch big to be exact. This is the next in line for my big builds that can do it all. I have a 6'8" build that literally has gold anchor, gold glove. It comes with everything that you need to hold down the big man position, but at the same time cook up like a small guard. And that's exactly what this skilled stretch big is. It's pretty much the combination of a 6'6" point guard, and I have 4 6'6" point guard builds, and the 6'8" point guard, aka 6'8" do-it-all build. I took a chance making a build like this because it does get silver anchor, and we all know that silver anchor and gold anchor should be different, but in NBA 2K24, that's just not the case. Now, I will say that this is not a build for everybody. Matter of fact, if you're clicking on this build video and you know that you're not a good dribbler and you're not somebody that can create your shot and shoot off the dribble, you're better off with the 6'8" build I dropped last week. But for those that can sauce up, you will get stops on this build and they cannot stop you. I'm not even going to waste your time. Let's show you guys how to create the 6'7" skilled stretch big. Then we'll show you guys gameplay. If you haven't seen last video of what this build is capable of, check it out if you want to see gameplay right now. If you want a 6'8" build, I already have one. I've been going crazy with it literally the last week and a half. I've been posting nothing but 6'8" videos. The 6'8" is disgusting. But enough of the long talking. Let's show you guys how I made the build. I have a lot of builds. Let's go ahead, show you guys the 6'7" skilled stretch. I went power forward because in order to get the name title skilled stretch, you need to go power forward, all right? I don't know what you can do at center with the build, but I don't see a point of going to make it at center. Let's go power forward, too far to the weight, 7'4" wingspan. I'll explain everything right now. Now, only thing I wish I would do differently, pretty much get a higher dunk, but because I am fading, and this is a 2's court build for the most part, if you want to run it on 3's court, it can be done, but I'll show you what you need to do if you want to run it on the 3's court, all right? Mid-range at 86 gives you open looks on gold, and it gives you gold midi magician if you go 85, I think, or 84 is what gives you gold midi magician. So to be honest, the only thing that matters is this right here: gold open looks, gold guard up, and blinders. You're gonna get it on silver anyways. The reason why I made the build like this is because, let me show you something. You can't take that off because you need it on mid-range. For those that are gonna say that, you can't take that off because you need it on ball handle. So now that that's all the way, 86 ball handle. This gives you Kemba Walker's escape. Kemba Walker escape pretty much gives you a speed boost glitch, and you can L2 cancel out of it so perfectly. If you haven't seen last video, make sure you go check it out. Now 80 speed with ball, because I have one with 75 and it does work with Jimmy Butler escape on my 6'8". But to be honest, the 80, you do notice a difference. Now interior defense, I went 77, the same as my 6'8", with gold anchor. 75 perimeter, just so I can get clamps, and off-ball pass on silver for the back doors, and 85 steal, because honestly, when you're really good at using that right stick ripper, it stacks with gloves. So 91 is overkill on a build like this. 6'8", my 6'8" with 91 steal, nobody ever tries to dribble against it because they know they're going to get ripped. So in order for me to get some steals, because I love fiending for the steals since 2K don't want to patch it and fix it up, I fiend for the steals by baiting them, making them think a 85 is not good enough, and then I right stick ripper them. A lot of people are going to say, Yadman, anchor on silver is way different than anchor on gold. Well, let me tell you something right now. So far of me using the build, I noticed really no difference. The only difference I can say is sometimes anchor on gold will give you an animation where you're not going to get that for the most part on silver. But even in this gameplay, you're going to see I'm getting stops against a 7'3" post scorer. Once I figured out how to play against the post scorer, because even with gold anchor, if you don't know how to play against a post scorer, they're going to cook you. It's just that simple. So once you know how to play against a post scorer, once you know you can get 1 or 2 stops is all you need on a build like this, because it's offensively heavy, offensively dominant. You have the same stats pretty much as a 6'8" that I dropped that gets gold anchor, gold glove, all that. But you just don't have the 91 steal and the 92 block. That's it. But with an 87 block, gold chase down, silver anchor, you're good. 70 rebound, I'm getting rebounds the same. This is the same rebound as my 6'8". So to be honest, I went with 70 rebound because this game is not really about jumping high for the rebound. It's about placement for the rebound. So even with a low rebound build, you can get rebounds on the 2s court. On the 3s court, you do need a higher rebound. The reason why this acceleration is a 68 is because there's really no difference. For me, I have noticed no difference with acceleration on a big build. Now, if you're a 6'6", I would say go to at least 77. But on a 6'7", 6'8", you're not getting gold speed booster anyways. So 68 is perfect. I was actually trying to find a way to make the build better for you guys, for those that play nothing but 3s court. And you know, every year I'm nothing but 3s court. But this year, due to the lack of teammates, I've been out there on the 2s court with builds like this, running 1 and 2 with it. See, this is a good build for the 3s court. If you're going to run guard with it or secondary guard, you can even get away with running big man with it for the most part in the park until you run into a decent big that's going to out rebound you. All right, because those 7-footers do exist in the park. And don't get me wrong, I still grab rebounds over them with my 6'7" pure lock with a 99 steal. But you want to have that security blanket of having a higher rebound. If you're going to make a build like this for the 3s court and a higher, probably interior, for more, probably bailout animations and higher workhorse, higher post lockdown. But to be honest, the way I made it, I feel like is the best way to make the build. And it's going to be totally up to you if you want to go ahead and make this build in a separate way. Because let me tell you this right now, like I said in the beginning of the video, this is not a build for everybody. This is a build for those that are good at the game. All right. And if you want to be good at the game and aspire to be good at the game, you can make a build like this and just get better. But if you're not good at the game, you're better off going with my 6'8", and I'm gonna show you guys that right now after I show you guys the name title, which is called the Skilled Stretch, which is the Jason Tatum build. And I'm cool with that because it's a perfect representation of what Jason Tatum can do, except I think the dunk would be higher. Now, you know me, I don't sugarcoat nothing. I don't try to hide nothing for y'all. I'm gonna show you guys the only L I've taken on this build so far. And I was absolutely cooking this post scorer. It's a decent post scorer. I'm not saying it's the greatest post scorer, 7'3". This was my first time playing a post scorer on the 2s court ever. So you got to take in consideration, this is a fresh rebirth build. I do not have a movable enforcer on silver yet. It's only on bronze, and that is a key badge. Found out when Hezi was explaining it. You need to have your strength up for when they're trying to back you down. And I only have post lock on bronze on this build, the same thing on the 6'8". But with that 84 strength, 83 strength, it gives you a movable enforcer on silver. Well, actually, I think it's an 81 or 82 that gives it to you. But you get the point. I was having fun, overkilling. Could have just took the mid-range right there and ended the game, but I'm trying to, cook up because I did not think that we could lose this game. Now, this guy was a post scorer. And in all honesty, when you're guarding post scorers, it's all about getting your jump timing right. It doesn't matter how high your defensive stats are. I've seen literally post scorers clip scoring over 5 people in the rec center for a game. I'm talking about the whole team guarding them. No, the good thing is you're very rarely ever going to run into a post scorer that can ball like that. We did end up losing because anytime I would help, this is a fresh rebirth. I do not have my immovable enforcer badge yet. I don't have everything down. And 2, it just took a little bit of time to figure out, how to time the jump correctly on a post scorer. And you're going to see, my thing is this, when you're using a build like this or a 6'8", when you go against a post scorer, you just got to take one to the chin, bro. You're going to get scored on more times than none. You just have to hope you can get at least 1 to 2 stops from them and don't let them get the ball back. On the 2s court, on the 3s court, you won't run into that issue because post scorers cannot dominate the 3s court like the 2s court. But I am getting stops now. This is not the best post scorer in the world, but the one thing about post scorers that you see right there, I had badge, but because I didn't have a movable enforcer, he can literally just move me down there, and it's too easy, right? Give or take. As much as I was dominating him, he can do the same thing, but I know that if I really pay attention and look for when he's actually going to attempt to throw the hook or attempt to throw a layup up, guess what? I can contest it. I can block it. I can really make it hard for him. He has to literally dominate perfect for perfect when it comes to post scoring. And not only, I don't think there's a lot of post scorers out there that can do that. My brother Food Stamp can do that. There's post scorers out there post hooking that can do that, right? Post scorers that are Zenin can do that. But for the most part, when you're going against people like that, it doesn't matter if you're guarding them with a 7-foot big, they're going to cook you as well. Just like my 6'8". I haven't played a post scorer on my 6'8" too much. Not no true post scorer, right? But anybody that tried my 6'8", only one person has been able to score over my 6'8", and it's because he was good at making you anticipate the jump wrong. right? Because that's all it is. It really is anticipating the jump wrong until you go against these post hook like fiends that can green 50 smothers, and it doesn't matter if you're contesting them, because some of them are cheating and they're using that device, and it's unstoppable. It's the most unstoppable thing every year. Not dribbling, not comp, nothing. The most unstoppable thing every year is post hooks, right? But for the most part, you're not going to go against that too much. And if you are somebody that likes to use a 6'6" and a 6'8", this is your build right here. Especially if you're a tools core player, you can use this build at the big man position, just like I use my 6'8". And I'm using this build more than my 6'8" just because I can cook up way faster, way easier. I can fade the mid-range. I have so much more options. I don't get that dunk, but it makes up for it with the other offensive attributes. And if you are concerned about posting, like post players pulling up, go ahead and put your interior up and drop your speed with ball. Put that interior up to an 82 and you get that post lock on silver. And I'm not gonna lie, when you get immovable enforcer on silver, I'm telling you, they're not going to be able to do that, because that is what my 6'8" has. And usually people that are not true post scorers try to pull up and try to back me down, and they can't really move me, even if they have a 95 strength. This build is not a good build for those that cannot sauce up. All right, I repeat, you're better off making the 6'8" if you want to feel like a KD style build. So go make the 6'8" if you're not somebody that can sauce up. Big up to someone, big Lord Mites with gun.